Guys, I know I haven't made a video in forever, but after having the Nintendo Switch for a week, I felt that it would be nice to give my thoughts on it because I haven't really talked about it, but I I really have a few things I like about the system and a few things I don't like. So, first let's talk about the system itself. So the system itself is actually pretty tiny. The system's not that heavy. The system has a very beautiful looking screen. Only problem is, as you can see, it's very reflective. It's reflecting so much light that it's messing up my camera's focus. But it looks a really nice and vibrant screen. The screen size is perfect, and I'm really pleased with the screen. Even though the screen is only 720p, when I'm playing Zelda or Snipper Clips or Bomberman, it looks really crisp and really clean. So I'm really satisfied with the screen, because I know there was a lot of people who were kind of worried that, oh, it's only going to be 720p, but it's really good. So yeah, right now it's propped up on the kickstand. Um, my only issue with the kickstand is that the kickstand is sort of like, let me do like this. It's to the right like that, which it's weird they didn't just put it in the middle because now it's kind of off centered and it needs to be on like a really even surface or else it'll just fall over. But see, like if it's on an even surface like this desk, it's perfect. But if you move it, then it kind of, just falls over. So let's talk about the games that I have. So the physical games that I got were Zelda and Bomberman. Zelda, I'm I'm actually not that big of a Zelda dude because I thought back when I was a kid, I thought you had to play all the Zelda games in order to understand the story, and I was like, I'm not gonna play through dozens of Zelda games in order to understand the story. And I was like, I just said forget it. And then once I found out that, oh, you don't need to play all the Zelda games to understand, I started playing the Zelda games, and I haven't played that many. I've played Ocarina of Time, I played the original Zelda, I played Wind Waker, and I have some sort of Four Swords game on my 3DS, but that's about it. So I haven't played, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, or what's the other game? Twilight Princess. I haven't played those yet. I'm looking forward to playing them eventually, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, I like the Zelda games. I see why the Zelda franchise has such a big following, and there was a lot of excitement for Breath of the Wild. I remember back that was a huge game when it was announced. People were really excited for it. People were running out and buying Wii U's just to play the game, and it got delayed and it got delayed. It got delayed and eventually came out, last week. So mm, I love the game, and I think that if you have a Wii U or you have a Switch, you need to get this game. The only time I would say not to get it is unless you don't really like that type of gameplay. But if you like that type of gameplay, you need to play Zelda. The game is really that good. I see why it's getting nines and tens. That has been pretty much the only game I've played, excuse me, for the past week. I played a little bit of Smash Bros. Project M on my Wii, but aside from that, I've only played Zelda. I have not played on my PlayStation 4, haven't played on my PC, haven't played on my 3DS. I've been mostly playing all Zelda because I'm loving the game that much. The game has so much to do in it, and the game is just, I really enjoyed the combat. I really enjoyed the sense of exploring. So I think Nintendo did an excellent job on Zelda. Very good. So now let's talk about some accessories, because I know people have probably been wondering about what is this. So I actually have the box right here. That is a Joy-Con grip kit. So all it is just you slide the Joy-Cons in, or rather this little black outline pops up and you put the Joy-Cons in, and then it gives it more of a normal feeling because like it feels a little bit more substantial in your hand this way, and it feels really comfortable. Like, see, you can still press all the buttons, you can, and it just feels way more comfortable, in your hand. So I would say if you're going to be playing your Switch with other people a lot, it might be worth looking into this depending on how it feels. I would order it off Amazon and see how it feels, and then if you don't like it, you can probably just return it. But I heard how the Switch Joy-Cons were really tiny, and they are. Like these things are smaller than a Wiimote. So I just wish that Nintendo made these a little bit bigger. But I really I haven't. And speaking of Joy-Cons, a lot of people were having problems with the Joy-Cons like disconnecting a lot. Knock on wood, I have not had any problems with the Switch at all. Like the Joy-Cons are working good, the dock is working good, the screen and everything's working good. So I have not had any problems about it. And I think that a lot of people, it's unfortunate that they've been having these problems. I just hope that Nintendo has a good return policy and they could probably get it fixed for them or get like a new system. And speaking of that, before I talk about that, I hope. Oh, I almost dropped my camera. So I hope that nothing happens to my Switch or anybody else's Switch. Do you want to know why? I've put probably about 30 hours into Zelda. Like that's pretty. Which isn't that much, but I've been playing a lot of Zelda. If your Switch breaks and you have to send it in for repair, say goodbye to your saves. Because there's no way to hook the Switch up to your computer, at least not right now. There's no way to hook it up. There's no way to connect the Switch to like Nintendo servers and back it up to the cloud. So if your Switch breaks, then you're done. Like then just say goodbye to all your saves. Because even if you put in an SD card, for some reason it still saves the save data to the system itself. So it baffles me because like I was gonna show you guys. Here's my PlayStation Vita, which is a little handheld that came out in Japan back in 2012 and came out in America early 20 no, it came out in Japan late 2011, early 2012 for everywhere else. So I just want to show some features about this. So keep in mind the Switch is $300 and it just came out last week. This is way older. We have party chat. We have a friends list that I can message people. We have trophies. We have a content manager which allows you to hook up the Vita to your computer and back up your save data. We have a pretty decent internet browser. It plays videos, it loads pretty fast. So it's a pretty decent internet browser. So let's scroll down. We have videos. We can have videos on it. We can have music. We can have email. So it just feels like there's way more features that the Vita could do, but the Switch can't do it. Like all those things I just named, the Vita has none of it. The Switch has none of it. So it just feels so backwards that here we are in 2012 and this new system doesn't have as many features as this way older system. I think the 3DS had more features. Yeah. I never had a Wii U, so I can't really talk about those features. But I know the 3DS has an internet browser. I know 3DS has YouTube and whatnot. So it just feels weird that we don't have all these features. It seems backwards. I don't know what Nintendo was thinking. But let's talk about some other games. So 1-2 Switch, I actually did not buy that. One of my friends bought a Switch as well, and he bought 1-2 Switch and Zelda. I bought a Zelda, Bomberman, and Snipper Clips. So what we decided to do was he wanted to play a little bit more Zelda, but everybody else I was having a party. Everybody else wanted to play 1-2 Switch, so he just let me put it in my system, and then we played on my system while he was playing Zelda. 1-2 Switch, I think that the game itself, I'm fine with it, because it is pretty much the Switch's equivalent of Wii Sports. But the problem I have with it is that it should not be $50. It is definitely not worth $50. I would rather buy Snipper Clips and maybe Shovel Knight and whatever other games instead of paying $50 for 1-2 Switch. It is definitely not worth that much. But it is pretty fun. I just think that the game isn't going to have much replayability. I don't really see it being something people are going to play, later on. It's probably going to be in the bargain bin later. So I think it's fine. I just think it should have came with the Switch or been no more than like a $20 game. So now we have Snipper Clips, which is a $20 game, and I gotta say, it's a lot of fun. When I was playing it, and then I was playing with another friend, and and we were trying to work together to solve puzzle. There were people behind us trying to give us hints and whatnot. And then eventually they convinced my friend to stop playing Zelda so we can use his Joy-Cons to do 4 players. And then we played 4 player snipper clips, and it was a lot of fun. So that game, if you're going to be playing with other people, it's definitely a lot of fun. It even has a 1 player mode, but snipper clip shines if you got multiple people playing with you. So I definitely think that if you have a Switch and you're going to be playing with multiple people, get snipper clips. It's a really fun game. Now, Bomberman, I I've actually never played a Bomberman before. Bomberman, I decided to only pick it up because I wanted there to be a good multiplayer game for us to play besides 1-2 Switch and Snipper Clips. And I really liked Bomberman. I thought Bomberman was pretty fun. Um, I do know people want Bomberman in Smash Bros, but I've never played the actual games. And I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. I think it's a pretty fun little game. It had a few game modes. It had like a very charming cast of characters. So I like it. I think it's okay. I don't think it should be $50, but yeah. But if you got Amazon Prime, it made it a little bit cheaper. So I think the game's worth about 30-40 bucks. Somewhere around that price range. So let's close the kickstand and let's put in the dock. Let's talk about the dock. So here we have the dock is resting on top of Smash Bros, which is resting on top of the Wii, which is sitting on top of the PlayStation 4. So let's just slide it in. So it's just as simple as just getting it lined up in the right, and then the screen goes off, and then boom, it transfers to the TV. And it looks pretty good. I think that on paper, the Switch is a brilliant concept. The Switch is brilliant on paper. The problem is, because Nintendo chose to make it a little tablet size, and just look at how small it is. Look at how small and thin the Switch is compared to the PS4, compared to the Wii. It's tiny. There's no way that Nintendo and Nvidia could make a system this small that's just as big as, that's just as powerful as the PS4 or Xbox One in this size and still call it $300. There's no way that's going to happen. So as soon as it was revealed that it was going to be like a little hybrid tablet like this, I knew that it was going to be underpowered. But the main reason that really sold me on the Switch was I didn't have a Wii U, so hopefully it's going to get a lot of Wii U enhanced editions like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I really like Nintendo games. Like Smash Bros is one of my favorite game series of all time. Even though I didn't start playing until Brawl, but I really enjoy all of them. And strangely, I can't play Brawl anymore. I'm going to go off topic a little bit. I cannot play Smash Bros Brawl anymore. I can only play the original Smash Bros, Project M, and Smash 4. I can't play Melee or the original Brawl just because I don't really like those. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't think they're bad games. I just don't think that I don't really enjoy it anymore. So, the Nintendo Switch. So what's the verdict? The verdict is Zelda is amazing. But if you have a Wii U, there's really no reason to get a Switch right now because you can play Zelda. Like, unless you want to play Zelda on the go, that's really the only reason you would get it if you already have a Wii U. But Bomberman's okay, Snipper Clip's okay, 1-2 Switch is overpriced, but that's mostly about all I've been playing. That's all I have. The next game I'm going to get is going to be like a little indie game called Pocket Rumble. It's supposed to come out sometime in March. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to be the next game I'm going to get. And then sometime this month, I think that at the end of March, it's going to be like a Splatoon 2 test fire beta. I'm looking forward to try that. But I think that the day one launch lineup was a little weak. But as long as Nintendo gets a good steady stream of games, I think the Switch is going to be okay. And I just got to see what kind of future it's going to have. Is the Switch going to be another Wii U situation, or is it going to blow up like the 3DS did? So, there's no telling. But hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts on the Switch. All in all, it's a pretty decent little system. I think that it's pretty good. Oh, I want to talk about this. This little grip that the Joy-Cons slide into is actually really comfortable. It's really comfortable. I was going to get a Pro Controller at one point, but I decided to try and see how this feels. and it actually feels pretty good. Like they just slide into this and it feels pretty comfortable. So I really like it. I really like this thing. But yeah, the Switch, I have issues with it. You know, the main thing that I want to see, I want them to add more media features. I want them to be able to add an internet browser. You know, being able to have media features like Netflix and, you know, and Twitter and Facebook. You know, even though I might not use it, I know a lot of people will want to use it because, you know, here's the thing, it's a tablet. So people are going to expect tablet-like features, and it feels kind of weird that it's only for gaming right now. Like that's all the Switch is for. You can just game on it, and that's it. What else I want to say? I hopefully Nintendo can convince, you know, other developers to, you know, get on board. You know, besides indie developers, like, you know, the next Grand Theft Auto, you know, the next Red Dead Redemption, the next, you know, Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatnot, the next Assassin's Creed. You know, like I really want those to be on the system if possible, but I'm worried that it's going to be too weak to handle it. So the video's getting a little too long. I'm going to stop and get back on Zelda because I really want to play it some more. I put so much hours into the game that that's all I really want to play. So what are you guys' thoughts on the Nintendo Switch? Do you think the Switch is going to be successful in the long run, or is it going to flop like the Wii U did? I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Have a good day. See you later.